All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Tradewaiters podcast, the comic book club where we read a different trade paperback every single week. Can you close that door?
Has it been open since you iced me?
No, I just opened it to get it back.
To get another ice in there, or was that almost a trick?
I don't know. Go look.
I still can't believe you did that.
I thought it was a great idea.
I'm
Daniel, and you're Nathan. We're brothers read comics.
Yeah, and Daniel sometimes ices me.
Because what better way to ask you to be a groomsman than to do it on the pod?
Yeah, and then there's more pressure for me to not just during the chug,
and then also to include alcohol.
Yeah,
I saw it on TikTok. I'm like, what a great idea. But people just left it at people's front doors and then rang the doorbell. I'm like, you just ding dong iced them or
what
something?
If they check their ring? They're not there, so they leave it out there. It's all hot.
Yeah.
It's
like there's a bottle on the ground.
and the ice is 100 degrees.
Yeah, I know.
Daniel's eating his bang this week. Like an animal.
It froze in the fridge.
Like it's an icy.
It's really fucking good. Isn't it sweeter?
I thought it was the normal amount of sweet.
I don't know. It tastes sweeter because it's an icy form. But anyway, we got time codes in the description. You can jump around to the book, the pull list, back matter matters. But what do we start with, Nathan?
Daniel, we start with the comic book news.
We sure do. Nathan, big news.
Big news.
Christian Bale cast as Shadow in Sonic 3.
Oh, man. How do they keep getting the biggest people?
All these heavy hitters, man. Idris Elba.
How are the supporting characters for
Christian
Sonic?
Bale.
Their voice actors are bigger than Sonic voice actor.
Yeah, what's his name?
Ben Schwartz, I think.
Ben Schwartz, yeah.
Yeah, and he's great.
Who plays Tails?
Tails?
Yeah.
I have no idea, actually.
I'll look it up. Probably someone gigantic.
Probably a guy that plays Olaf or
Margot
something.
Robbie or something. I don't know.
Tails?
Yeah.
I think Tails is a dude.
I think
I think a lot of girls can voice act.
They also got Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And it's his last role.
The actor that plays Sonic is the least famous person in those movies.
Yeah, no.
Which is crazy. Yeah, that is big news though. They keep getting the heavy hitters. Is he even in the movie?
Is this the first one? Oh, it's the first one. He's in the second one.
Okay, along with Knuckles.
Mm-hmm. Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I don't know who that is.
Okay. I stand corrected in my statement then.
She plays remember the girl? Or wait, no. Hold on.
I've known a few.
A lot of voice acting things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Daniel.
What?
Batman versus Robin #1 is something coming out, and it's by Mark Waid and Mahmoud Asrar, that guy. Mm-hmm. He did a bunch of X-Men stuff. And it's going to be continuing the Mark Waid, Dan Mora story, World's Finest, or it has part of that in there.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going to happen with World's Finest, but I really like that book, so I hope it goes for longer.
Do you think it has anything to do with the Batman versus Robin animated movie?
Is that coming out? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Remember the trailer came out a couple weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
And it's the CGI one, not the cartoon.
Maybe. That's probably why they are doing this, but it's going to involve that same demon that's in the World's Finest story. Nezra or Nezha or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Daniel, Valiant Comics cuts back to one title a month.
I thought they're at one title a month already. What's the one title?
It's going to be Bloodshot.
Nice.
They're best.
What happened to Ninjak?
They're best of the best. Yeah, Ninjak, no more.
Damn.
You might be a fan of
Quantum and Woody,
or maybe the Harbingers.
Yeah.
Harbingers, whatever their name is.
Harbinger Wars.
Yeah. Exo Manowar is going to come later. Liam Sharp's going to be on it. But, yeah, I
wonder how many people just work for Valiant.
I don't know.
It's got to be two people, right?
This can't be very give them a whole lot of confidence to go back to one title a month.
Dude,
so
were you there at Warped Tour where they they had some sort of partnership with Valiant? And they named stages after different Valiant characters.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
There's
it was one of the last Warped Tours, right?
I think so. There's an Exo Manowar stage and
yeah,
shit
that's
that.
sick.
That shit was badass.
Did they sell comics there?
Probably.
Oh, that would have been like heaven.
Yeah,
for me.
Pop punk and comics just all around.
I bet the Bloodshot stage was like the biggest stage.
Dude, I bet they had fucking like Warped Tour like variants.
Probably, I think they did.
That'd be fucking cool.
And then all the like shitty bands were on like the Archer and Armstrong stage.
Have you even read Archer and Armstrong?
No, but it was just recently canceled at issue 4. So
that sucks. I hope it like.
I like
wrapped
Valiant,
up.
but I guess I haven't bought anything from Valiant in like forever. So
They have a great logo.
They do,
And I like the concept of it being like kind of a number 4 or 5 like publisher.
Yeah.
Or like number 3 like superhero kind of publisher, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're fun. I really liked Jeff Lemire's Bloodshot stuff. I think he got really fun with that. And then I read some Exo Manowar, which I liked, and then I read their like Valiant event, whatever that was called.
Oh.
And I enjoyed all of it, you know?
Secret Warriors? Remember that?
I don't think that was called Secret Warriors.
That's
That's a Marvel thing. I know what you're talking about.
You can picture the cover, right?
Yeah, I know. It's the guy with the
Secret
Asian
Weapons?
dude. I think that's what it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Asian like dude in a suit. He was
Oh,
like,
remember Deity?
Deity. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that shit was cool.
Yeah, Deity. That was their event, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I thought it was just a
We're
comic.
part of the
I'm
problem.
like, this shit's crazy.
Yeah, and they took some swings.
I just like jump into an event not knowing it's an event. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, a lot of stuff's happening.
it's very active.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Nathan, speaking of comics, remember that manga I told you about? It was called Kaiju number 8.
Yes.
It's getting an anime.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's only like a 2-year-old manga, and it's
Wow.
getting an anime.
They're really just getting whatever's hot.
Yeah, I guess
Wow.
so. So that's exciting.
Daniel,
Nathan.
do you know what kind of title DC needs another of?
Batman.
Batman, baby. DC Black Label series, Batman / the Joker, The Deadly Duo by Mark Silvestri is going to happen. He's like one of the original Image people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so so Mark Silvestri going to be, I think, writing and drawing it because I didn't see any artists listed. It's going to be a 7-issue series launching November 1st.
Huh.
So that's pretty fun.
Yeah. Speaking of Batman, Nathan,
Yeah.
Red Hood Outlaws is like the newest book to be added to Webtoons.
Really? Like
Yeah.
the one that we read?
No,
Or a
we
different
read Red Hood and the Outlaws. Red Hood Outlaws,
Oh, okay.
like
Gotcha.
Outlaws, is like a different book.
Gotcha.
Because I think
That man's just always associated with the word outlaws.
the most recent Red Hood run was actually called like Red Hood Outlaw. So
And so now they've pluralized it?
right. So there's other outlaws. I think it's bringing back Bizarro and what's her name, Artemis.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. So that's cool.
That would
That
be
was a
fun.
really good run. Like that team up was
That
like,
was the Rebirth
Yeah.
like team, right?
That shit was awesome.
That's cool. Daniel, you know what we love?
Harry Styles.
We do. Do you have Harry Styles news? That's unrelated to what I was saying.
He
but-
signs a 5-movie deal to play Eros.
Oh, cool. I figured it wasn't just like a one-time thing for like whatever next movie he was supposed to be in, but
It would make sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that seems like doable, but no, we're going to get him for 5 movies.
hell yeah.
That's like 15
It
years.
seems like it'd be fun just Harry styling around.
Yeah, dude.
There's no way he's going to like be different than Harry Styles, right? That character, that Eros that he's playing.
I mean, I don't know what Harry Styles is like on a personal level. So,
I mean, but you've seen him like around
yeah.
and he's just kind of like vibing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that like the character that he plays isn't just a guy that vibes.
True.
And he's like, yeah, I'm the brother of Thanos.
Right.
No, Dana, what we love is when corporations make comics. Okay.
Oh, dang. Is there going to be Apple Comics?
Also, what we love is when real life celebrities put themselves in comics.
Yeah, not
as,
fake celebrities.
Yeah. Like when Eminem is with the Punisher. We love that.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill teams with Jack in the Box for free limited edition comic book. So Mark Hamill, obviously known for Star Wars, he's joined forces with his one-time employer, Jack in the Box, a place that he was
He
fired
used to work
for.
at Jack in the Box?
He got fired for manning the drive-thru and using a clown voice, apparently. But they've squashed their beef. All water under the bridge. And Hamill's returning to the drive-thru for a recent Jack in the Box advertising campaign. So I guess he's gonna run the drive-thru, give people their curly fries. And
Be like, thanks, dude. Like,
and
no.
then, no.
Well,
And people are gonna be like, I don't want this.
well, people know because I was like, people would know from like voice acting. I'm like, oh no, he played Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and so they're gonna give people comics, but you can also read the comic. It's called The Return of Mark Hamill, a comic book. It's a promotional comic. It's available for free in the Jack in the Box online merch store, and physical copies are going to be available in limited quantities with free shipping. So I thought that was interesting.
That is very interesting. That's that's such an insane crossover.
Like, why?
Remember the KFC Flash book?
Yeah, the best crossover. That's my end game.
Yeah, that's my crisis.
It had Green Lantern in there.
Yeah.
And then there's Colonel Sanders, and he has a Green Lantern, and he just makes a bucket of chicken.
That's bizarre.
Isn't that just weird?
I just want some chicken strips now.
I know.
You ever have their chicken strips?
I haven't been to Jack in the Box in years.
Really? What, you think you're better than me?
Yeah, I do.
No, they have. I think they came out with a new chicken sandwich. I wanted to try that, and then they have like spicy popcorn chicken, and I think I wanted to try that. And their tacos are like unreal.
The tacos, yeah. When you
junk food.
When you've hit rock bottom and you want to begin the climb back up, you start with those tacos.
To just like purge your body of the alcohol you just drank.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's cool.
Very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting news.
It'll work because I'll probably just go to Jack in the Box on the right day, you know.
And I'll be like, "Do you guys have those comic books?"
Yeah.
Like, if we went, I don't even know where the nearest Jack in the Box is to me. But if I went to a Jack in the Box and I was like, "Do you guys have that Mark Hamill comic book?" They'd be like, "You're high."
Do you have the Star Wars comic?
Yeah.
You guys have comics here?
Hey, you like go inside and like, where's your comics at?
Yeah. Where's the new releases rack? Nathan.
Yeah.
There's a new Jason Aaron book coming out. It's called Once Upon a Time at the End of the World.
You know what? I screenshotted
from Boom Studios.
I screenshotted Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, but it was only the title, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I forget.
And art by Mike Del Mundo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did some stuff for his Thor run that I thought was pretty fun.
Okay.
So that'll be cool.
That's cool. I just like seeing him on like indie stuff because I feel like he's been riding the Marvel train for a while.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be much better on an independent thing.
Right.
Very cool.
Any more news, Nathan?
Daniel, we love some Christmas comics, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do.
And this year, DC Comics is going to release DC's Grifter Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Number 1.
What?
Yeah. Grifter got run over by a reindeer.
It's only because it starts with the G.
Yeah.
They could do Green Lantern guy.
But they're like, nah, Grifter will sell better. And
that's so bizarre.
It's going to be in comic shops November 29th. It's going to feature creators like John Layman.
Oh, cool.
Max Bemis. Dustin Nguyen.
Nice.
And a couple other people. Michael Conrad. All that stuff.
I know you're not just, naming out people that I know. But
yeah,
that is cool.
And it's going to be focused on characters like Animal Man, Black Canary, Hawkman, and of course Grifter. So
that's insane.
How fun is that?
Is it like a one shot?
Yeah, just like their one shot issue. It's going to be like $8 or something.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I can't wait to read it.
Looks great.
I actually have quite the Christmas list, or not the list that we're gonna read of Christmas books. Like we have some options.
Okay, all right.
Like
great.
I feel like last year we were kind of in a crunch, but I found a lot of good ones.
Did we do a Christmas book last year?
I don't remember, but I think we did.
I don't remember either.
We didn't do
Klaus again.
No. Oh no, we did Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Oh yeah, because that movie was coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't really do a Christmas book.
Dang. Yeah, we said Christmas episode in parentheses, but
yeah, we need to have one good Christmas book.
Should we do 2 Christmas books this year to make up for last year?
I think we might need to.
Okay.
That's all the news I have.
Nathan, I don't know if you saw this. It's not really that new of news. I just saw it in an ad and I wanted to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new series coming from Jody Houser.
Oh, I actually do have more news.
And Dave Watchter. And it's called Miss Marvel and Venom.
There's a Miss Marvel and Moon Knight that came out this week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, I was going to pick it up, but I had too much. I already spent $40, so I was like,
Miss Marvel and Venom just sounded like bizarre. And so I'm like, that's cool. I'll probably get that.
Yeah. It sounds like way back in the day, Mark Waid did like a Brave and the Bold like series, but it was just like the most random 2 characters that you could put together. And so it'd be like, I I can't even remember. It was like there's like a Nightwing and like the demon guy or something.
Etrigan the demon?
Etrigan, yeah, something like that. Like just the most random characters he put together. He just like found a way to put those two together in like a story. And I'm pretty sure it was like a dartboard situation.
I love dartboard comics.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want more dartboard comics, but get like Spider-Man and well, he's probably been with everybody, but give me like Miss Marvel and just put her with every single fucking random ass thing that she would never cross paths with.
Trying to think. What's the kid's name from Fantastic Four? The son?
Oh, what is his name?
7E.
I can't remember, but I know who you're talking about.
Like him and like Cable or something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Give me like Luke Cage and the Silver Surfer.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Because
Yeah.
they both have like kind of this unbreakable skin.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how they relate.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they relate together. I actually do have more news.
Oh, good.
Star Wars: The Hidden Empire. It's a new miniseries by Charles Soule and Steve Cummings, coming out in November. Seems pretty cool. It looks like it's gonna have some Rey stuff in there, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely some Sidious. Not
Hidden
sure what's going on.
Empire.
Yeah,
Is that
probably like the Rise of Sidious or something.
so it's not a...
Sidious is definitely in there just based off the cover. So
Oh, that sounds cool.
yeah, so that might be kind of sweet.
I was about to say, it's not like one of the High Republic.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say we can't remember anything right now. Doom Patrol canceled.
No.
Yeah.
After 3 seasons?
Yeah, I think Titans too, but that's not official, which is fine.
That sucks. I mean, we did get more than we probably deserved, I think.
Yeah, 3 seasons of Doom Patrol is wild.
Yeah, like absolutely bizarre.
Yeah. And then The Mighty is a comic book coming out from Pete Tomasi, and it looks like some sort of Superman, but it's another take on Superman.
Image?
I think so.
Samney.
Somni, it says his name. I don't know why.
I'm just his wife.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, she colors.
That's cool. Wait, you said it was Image?
I think so. No idea.
That's cool. It just sounds like another Homelander, Superman,
Yeah, or maybe more tragic Superman.
utopian-esque person.
Yeah, something like that. So we'll see what that is. Looks cool, though.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Alrighty. Let's get into the book, Nathan.
Yep.
Did we read the same book this week?
So I'm worried that we didn't. What did you read this week?
I read John Constantine, Hellblazer.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay. Because you mentioned that we should do that instead of what we had planned, and then I was like, wait, you said to do that for 125, but this episode is 125.
You're right.
So we kind of fucked that up.
Ah, shit.
Okay, so we read Not All Robots.
Not All Robots.
By Mark Russell, who wrote it, and Mike Deodato, who did the art. Junior, who did the art. But I'm just now realizing that there's a typo, and it says that Mark Russell, writer, Mike Deodato Jr., writer, and then it just goes to colorist next. Are you seeing that?
You know, maybe they shared.
Maybe they both wrote it, but it doesn't say who did the art. But it was definitely Mike Deodato.
This is from Awa Upshot.
Upshot. Yeah, it's like Awa. It's Axel Alonso's imprint, I think, and he's like a guy that used to be head of like Marvel Comics.
Okay.
Before it went to CB Cebulski.
Did he not do Axel Alonso? Is that a artist?
He might have done some stuff, but I know him as like a publisher guy.
Okay.
But what did you think of this book?
A lot of fun. It like Mike Deodato Jr. is the man.
He's crazy.
He is so good. I love looking at his stuff.
It has so much detail. And
insane
like
amount
every
of detail.
panel.
It's like he had these robots already and he was just drawing them, you know?
It almost looks like sometimes his stuff is like 3D modeled already.
Yeah.
But like animated 3D model. And then he just kind of like places them and whatever. Like those robots feel like the exact same proportions every time.
Yeah.
And
he's amazing.
He really is a great artist, and I only like know his stuff from like Big Muscle Man punching other Big Muscle Man. But in here, no muscly men except for one, who's not even like really a big character, and the rest is just like a family, a whole environment that in like it's just such a nice change of pace from like Deodato stuff.
Yeah,
because I literally think last stuff I read from him was like Savage Avengers, which is just all the buff Avengers like together, ripping stuff up.
Oh, what, like a couple months ago?
No, a couple years ago, like 2 or 3. Yeah, and then he went to Berserker Unbound, which is just big muscle man running around in New York.
Yeah.
And then it's just like this.
I think he just needs to have something where like there's buildings in it, because his buildings are like perfect. I'm like, this is a real place.
I need more
it
buildings.
Has to be. Yeah.
So, but this book is interesting because you can tell that Mark Russell wrote it because he's scared
Yeah.
about this happening.
I'm like, this is just the future.
It's just frightening and sad, but like I could see this all happening, which is very scary.
Yeah, I think it deserved best humor publication for sure. I think
it does try and talk about a lot, like all at once. Like this is a book about like capitalism and like toxic masculinity and like the environment and climate change and a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But I think he balances it pretty well, and the universe like makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed like the first couple issues more than like the ending. I kind of expected it to be like this. It was pretty well-rounded, like self-contained story, but it left itself like open to continue, right?
Yeah.
And I think it might be. I don't know. So I
is,
kind of
yeah.
was expecting it to just end at issue 5 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I think, just getting in all the world building and stuff like that, and just all the things he's making fun of in the first couple of issues is what like I enjoyed the most of.
Yeah.
And at the end, I was just like, all right, let's like wrap it up.
Yeah. I can see that. I also felt like there wasn't really a main like central character. It was like a family and like a robot, and like it felt like the main character was like the world.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting, but I wasn't like, I didn't like really know to root for the whole time,
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's like up to interpretation in a way, and there's not like this person that you just have to like, Mm-hmm. I guess having all these different characters and there's just being so much context can be kind of annoying or like distracting, I guess. But I think it worked in this aspect.
I liked all the different perspectives that were at play, because there's like a dad in here, and he clearly just kind of like follows whatever is going on.
Yeah.
And like the mom's very skeptical, and the kids are like, what am I supposed to do in this world, kind of deal. Mm-hmm. And then the robot's like, I'm just stuck in my 9 to 5. I don't like my life and stuff like that. So
let's kind of explain what it's about.
Yeah. So it's the year 2056. And there's like these bubble cities that have been created to protect from like over pollution and stuff that's been in the world, and like climate change and all that. And robots have replaced all human beings in the workforce, and every family was assigned a robot to work for those families. So all families are like completely dependent on this robot to like go work for them. So I don't know really what they do throughout their day, but it seems like a lot of them just watch the news. And there's a lot of really good satire on the news here.
They didn't show any like shows, right?
It was mainly just like news.
Because I'm like, who's in the shows that they're watching?
I don't know.
Is it people?
Probably, yeah.
Like, so those people.
But then those people have jobs. So it must be robots.
So it's all robots acting.
Maybe there's just no entertainment and it's just news.
So it gets to a point where they have like more humanoid robots. So I could see that being
that'd be
actors.
Sick. Yeah.
Because then you can have like.
You could just kill someone in a sweet action scene, a Tom Cruise action scene, and it'd be like, okay, like, oh, we'll try that again.
You can make another one.
Yeah.
Or like you can basically revive dead actors.
Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's not problematic.
Yeah, no.
That's actually kind of happening right now, but that's a different topic.
With deepfakes and shit.
Yeah. And so the family in particular that we follow is the Walters, and there's like a dad, a mom, and then 2 kids that are like, I don't know, pretty teenage aged. And the Walters are freaked out by their assigned robot named Razorball, except for the dad, who kind of like wholeheartedly believes in like the robots and everything that has happened in like the last couple decades or whatever, how long this has been going on.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of different factors at play, but Razorball does seem like a pretty scary name for a robot that's like supposed to work for you.
There's a lot of names in here. I'm like, why would they give them that name? That's terrifying.
It must have been like an AI generated thing, or like just like a generated name, and they're like, what are robot things?
Yeah.
And they're like razors, I guess. But I like this idea of like the talking bot news show, because like in this world, robots play a huge part in like humanity now, and people obviously play a huge part in humanity. And so it's like this talk show where there's a person talking and like a robot talking, and they just talk about what's going on like in the world, or at least in their particular bubble city. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, that's just interesting concept.
Yeah, I think that's probably something that'd be pretty necessary in that environment, especially with these robots that have like personalities.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that like they talk about how much like they hate their lives sometimes, like the robots.
Yeah.
And there's like a hack on like their 4chan or whatever.
4chan. Which is so stupid.
And it's where you're able to just like disable your empathy chip so you don't like think about it.
Yeah. It's like a TikTok hack.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And Mark Russell like thought of everything.
He really did. Like, there's so much in here where I'm like, I could see people doing that.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm like, that's sick. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So we find out that Razorball hates his job and his life, and his life outside of work. He's like, I'm just doing this 9 to 5 that I hate, and then I go home and I hate my life at home. So I'm just in this constant system of just hating myself, right? But Razorball's job is producing mandroids, which is a new robot model that's set to eventually take over the current robots. And Razorball, like on his way back home or to work or something, he sees the mom in the Inhuman Relations shop trying to get her a replacement robot.
Yeah.
So even just like going home, he's like, these people are trying to replace me. But it's really funny to think that a robot would be in like the 9 to 5 grind.
Yeah. It's Inhuman Resources. Like human resources, but it's Inhuman Resources.
Yeah, Inhuman.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And it really feels like when like a toxic husband like comes home from work and he just has like this weird terror about him that like the rest of the family is just like, please don't like hurt me kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of that like goes on, which I think is communicated pretty well. And like the way that like Deodato, he has like surprisingly good emotion and acting for like robots that don't have faces ultimately.
Yeah.
Like it's all body language, but like when he gets home, he just kind of like marches to the garage and he's like, his like head is looking down. He doesn't look very inviting like at all. So, but he's also got really good character acting in like the faces of the Walters, because you can definitely tell that they all don't really like him, you know?
Like, there's like no flaws artwork wise.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of it might be a little bit too busy, and like it involves like a little bit to like digest everything. It feels like that's like the only thing, especially with like his style on like comic panels.
Yeah.
Like he has like the main panels, but sometimes those expand past like the main panel, but they're still split up into what looks like little panels, but they're just kind of like extra context for the page.
Yeah. What's it called when they do those like little dots for shading and like old
Screen
comics?
tone.
Screen tone? Yeah,
Yeah.
he does that a lot and it's fucking awesome.
I've always loved his screen tone. I think he does it like the best.
I knew you'd know what that meant.
Yeah.
Or what it was called.
It's a very prominent comic book thing. But so to end the issue, like a big event happens where the people of another bubble city in Orlando were all killed due to a malfunction in the robot that controls their climate. So that like he like introduced, or he like restricted oxygen to like that bubble city by accident.
It was an accidental spike in nitrous oxide
Yeah, and so everybody died from like asphyxiation.
in like Orlando. Like
Yeah,
you see
there's
like
people dead like on a roller coaster
in like Disney
in the
World.
streets. Yeah, it's this place that is basically Disney. Oh, it is Orlando. So
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
have. Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Oh, that's what I immediately thought of. I'm
That's
like,
so
oh, that's
funny.
terrible. That's so many people.
And then it's so eerie that Razorball like sees this news and he's like, you know what? Today was a good day. Like it's all so the book is so eerie, you know? Like it's
Yeah. Because like this is awful. And then it just kind of just keeps going.
But
you
like
know?
I wouldn't be surprised if like a good amount of this book like actually happens, you know?
Yeah, no, I can see it at a certain point.
Yeah.
I
Obviously
feel like
like
people
way in
would
the
be
future.
just so bored though. You know?
Yeah, people would be. Unless
Like-
it was like a Wall-E kind of situation where people
Yeah.
are just like on their iPads and their wheelchairs.
Or they got like a VR thing that they can just kind of shut off or whatever.
True.
But there's this one part where like Razorball, I think, is like venting to his friend.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, dude, I didn't mean for you to upload on me.
I thought that was so good. Yeah, the robot dialogue is so funny because
It's like uploading information and not like unload or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's so funny.
He has like such funny robot dialect, and like some of the things that the robots did like made me laugh out loud. But
Yeah.
So issue 2 the robot that's responsible for the Bubble Orlando killing was algorithmically ruled not guilty by the court robot.
Yeah, dude, they just have like this jukebox thing,
which is hilarious.
In like the courthouse, you put in like a little USB that is your defense.
It's his defense USB,
and it takes like a fraction of a second to determine whether or not you're guilty.
Yeah, like his name's Headley, the one that fucked up and like killed all the people. He just like walks up to the court. He's like whistling, or the robot equivalent of whistling. People are like rioting. He uploads his legal defense, and in 0.3 seconds he's good, and he walks out like nothing happened.
Yeah, he's like, how do you plead?
And it's
guilty or not guilty?
And then he pushes not guilty, and then 0.3 seconds later it's like, you're good. And it's so funny because it feels like it works that way sometimes.
Yeah,
like with people that are like too big to fail almost in court.
Especially like some of those trials that are like don't go to trial, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
One of those.
And the Walters have family therapy with a robot therapist, which is also just like depressing kind of. But dude, I hate the dad in this book.
Oh, he's such a jackass.
He's meant to be hated, but there's this really funny like there's like a clear satire on like people's influence from the news in this book.
Yeah.
And there's this really funny panel where the dad's looking at an article, and the article says, "Orlando blooms. Are humans blowing mass death out of proportion?" And then the dad's like, "That's fair." It's just insane. And then it's also interesting because like the kids always say like they say their perspective in therapy, and they're like, why am I going to school if I'm not going to like go to the workforce, you know? Mm-hmm. And so it's like clearly there's not a big long-term plan here for like schools. Yeah. And also schools all like it's all robots teaching.
Yeah.
So like the education and like the board and stuff is all pretty much controlled by like capitalist society.
It's so bizarre to think about. It's like, what's the point of anything if it's all done for you? You know what I
know,
mean?
Exactly.
I mean, I think they cook their own food.
There are coding jobs. That's like the only job though.
Okay.
And well, actually people work in hair salons. That's like the only
Oh yeah.
That's like the only non-robot job because people don't like robots with like scissors close to their head or whatever.
Oh yeah, there's a great panel for that where they have like all these knives and shit. And
yeah.
You're like, ah.
Yeah, that one is good. So it's basically just like coding, or you're a hair, like you work in a hair salon, which is kind of depressing. But all the robots are given nicer names as a means to drive down the human robot tension. And Razorball, now known as Snowball, goes to a robot rally.
Yeah.
So like all these, it's crazy to think that robots just like host their own rally, and there's like, it's insane that like in this scene, the special speaker in this like secret robot rally is Headley, the guy that killed all the Orlando people.
Yeah.
So it's just like a lot of insane things going on where
insensitive.
People are like idolizing like these criminals, right? And it's like, you know, that doesn't feel completely out of left field, you know, recently. And so the two Walter kids join a human resistance, and Snowball is seen making weapons in the house garage, but the dad's like too scared to really question him about it.
Yeah.
And
then like when he does, he's like, I'm in a play.
Yeah. And so
he's making these giant ass axes and shit.
Yeah. And like the wife is very concerned, and she like makes the dad go and like confront him. And then, yeah, Snowball just gives like a very weak like excuse, like, oh, I'm in a play. And the dad's just like, well, I guess he's in a play, you know?
There's this one part where the kids are going to like the salon or whatever, where the resistance is. Mm-hmm. And like this robot like car like hits a human. And then it's like, oh, traffic error, you're entitled to level 2 compensation.
Yeah.
So like it was automatically like transferred like whatever like settlement for his injuries.
It was all like automatically calculated.
Which is, it's just so hilarious to me. So I'm like, oh, no need for insurance, which like adjusters.
Scares the fuck out of me because like that's all algorithmically like decided, and it's fucked. But I really like Deodato does this really interesting thing on face close-ups where all the rendering is done with like these parallel lines like on their faces, which is something I haven't really seen from him before, but here's an example.
Oh yeah.
And I think that that's really cool. So I also think that he has just fucking phenomenal shading. Mm-hmm. Like whenever he is like doing these character acting moments, like he just turns into like Sean Phillips kind of.
Yeah.
And has this like deep shading, and it's really cool. Issue 3, there's like more violence in the streets. And so as a reaction, the huge company that manufactures all the robots starts to push the mandroids out. And Snowball's work friend gets a promotion, so he's able to like still work, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But Snowball's most likely gonna get like replaced. Right.
I like how they show the company that makes them. It's called Omni.
Yeah, Omni.
And basically just Jeff Bezos.
He's a Jeff Bezos looking motherfucker.
Runs this shit.
And there's
which doesn't seem out of place either.
No, it doesn't. And I think that like the board that he talks to, it's not really like a board, but I think it's like other huge companies. And so like this whole bubble city, basically like the government is just these big corporations that basically run everything, which, pretty not far off from how it is now probably. But I like the scene where the robot coworkers give like Snowball's friend a congratulatory cake on the promotion, and then they're like, what do we do with this now?
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny because they're like the way that you know that he got promoted and says Snowball is like the robot coworkers with a cake, and I'm like, why would they even get a cake anyway? It's just so ridiculous.
At this point, I'm like, I like the robots more than humans in this. Like they make sense. They're just doing their part, and that sucks.
Yeah, like Razorbot I don't think is like a bad guy. He's just kind of grumpy all the time because he's just working.
He's got reasons to be grumpy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very interesting because I don't think anybody's necessarily like the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's just, well, except for like maybe the corporations, but
there's this bit where they are talking about like their grandma, and I guess their grandma lived just outside of like the Atlanta bubble.
Yeah,
and they're like, you got to come in to Atlanta where the bubble's gonna be or whatever. And
it's gonna be great.
And she's like, nah. And then we just assume that she dies out there.
Yeah, because there's like huge forest fires that happen as like a result of climate change and environmental changes and stuff. So, which is why they made the bubble cities. But the neighbors get his mandroid, and the Walters scrape up what little money they have to get their own mandroid, which looks exactly like the grandma, the one that died, presumably.
Yeah, this is good. This is getting a little Black Mirror right now.
Yeah, they name her Grandroid, which I think is a really funny name. And
dude, Mark Russell set up this whole thing just so he can call it Grandroid.
He's like, Grandroid.
We'll call them Mandroids, and who are they going to lose? They're going to lose a grandma, so they can have a Grandroid now.
I think he thought of the word Grandroid, thought was really funny, created not all robots for that reason. That's how I assume the creative process is for him.
But they couldn't afford the one that didn't have ads, so it shoots ads at you.
She just like says ads at you in like limited time offers, and will just like notice things about your speech and then push personalized ads towards you because they got Mandroid Lite, Yeah. It's insane. And it's also fucked because it's like they don't even work. They're all dependent on Snowball to do all the work. And so it's like, even though all the robots are doing work, they're still like middle class, lower class, like all that stuff, which is so funny.
What's odd is like, so Snowball makes all the money for the Walters, and then the Walters use that money that Snowball earned
to buy
Grandroid.
Yeah, Grandroid.
And so, I don't know, it's just like, it's just
so weird.
Like, he should feel so betrayed.
Yeah, exactly. And the neighbor got his Mandroid, but it looks exactly like Mom Walter, like Cheryl, yeah, which is so weird. Like, it feels like this weird version of like being cucked almost.
I was like, that's so gross.
I don't know what to feel about that.
It's the neighbor. No, you should feel bad. Like, that's a bad thing to do.
It is a weird thing to do, but I'm like, what just happened?
He's gonna go fuck that robot now.
I know.
And think about your wife.
Yeah, it's just insane.
And then the dad's just like, whatever. Like,
he's like, huh. Is that Cheryl? Yeah, and like when he sees her, like Cheryl's in like a bikini.
Yeah.
the Cheryl Mandroid is in a bikini. It's so weird. But can you just imagine how awful it would be to just have something walking around you just shouting ads at you?
Oh, so annoying.
Insane.
I mean, isn't that what our phones are, Nathan?
Kind of, but like we kind of choose to be on our phones.
We can skip the ads. You choose to have a Grandroid.
I guess that's true. But like they're all going to be replaced anyway.
So is your phone.
Valid. Mark Russell, you're just too smart for me.
I bet at a certain point, like every app, like even like Instagram and stuff, there's gonna be like a version with no ads. You could probably go ad free on Instagram. I think. I don't know.
Like buy a premium ad free phone.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Basically.
I just assume everything will get so bad with ads that it'll be like news articles.
Oh, so where it's like fucking all over it, and you have to like
There's like
actually
a huge banner.
You have
There's
to
like a
look
video
for the information that you need.
There's like a video playing in the corner. There's like an ad on the left side.
You think the
and
video
like,
is a part of the article, but it's not.
yeah, I know. And then in between the article, there's like giant spaces where there's ads.
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
At that
just
point, I'm like,
everything.
journalism should just die. Like,
It
this
really
is
should.
bizarre.
Like, this is it.
Yeah.
But then when like the New York Times has like $1 a month, I'm like, fuck this. So I don't know. But issue 4, all the mandroids have replaced robots, which leaves like thousands of robots unemployed, which is funny to think about. And then after the mom tries to get their robot Snowball replaced again to no success, she talks to Snowball about like her fear of him and like kind of just unloads everything. And Snowball turns to 4chan for answers, which is not a great resource, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that 4chan in this universe is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Because do you know what 4chan is?
Is it like Reddit?
It's kind of like Reddit. It's just like this big like online forum where like a bunch of weird shit happens and a bunch of like weird information. It's like Truth Social, maybe.
I know people like go to 4chan to like find like anything kind of. Like
Yeah,
the community is like really smart. Like you can find people.
It can be good, but it can also be like dark web stuff, you know?
Oh, okay.
So I just like that he put a version of this and made a robot pun in here.
Yeah.
I like that. But I really enjoyed like the honest conversation from like the mom being like, I'm just waiting for the day that you snap and just kill all of us. Like I'm not even locking my doors anymore because I know you can get through the locks.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. And then the kids go to the Human Revolution group and the dad like tries to stop them. He ultimately can't. He gets like outsmarted by them. He like tells them like Human Revolution is bad. They're spreading lies about robots being violent. And then the kids are like, well, if robots aren't violent, it should be fine for us to leave. And he's
Yeah.
like, stop being smart with me, which is really funny.
What was kind of sad is like some of the robots that like lost their jobs, they ended up being like just like these heads mounted on like porta potties.
Yeah.
And telling you whether or not it's like occupied or not.
Which is,
I'm like, oh my God,
It's
they gotta be the
so bad, dude.
shittiest thing. They already hated their lives.
Yeah.
Now they're drilled to like a shitter.
it's not even like rock bottom. They're like they dug more.
Then
you know?
the shitter at rock bottom.
Yeah. And the rally, there's like a rally of robots marching towards like a group of anti-robot people, and then like this huge fight breaks out. What I like is that the main weapon for like the Human Revolution is a hairdryer that's retrofitted to fry circuitry, which I think is pretty fun.
Oh.
And they like call themselves something pretty creative too. It was like the user unfriendly or something like that, or that's what they're chanting. And I'm like, that's pretty fun too. But they have like torches and they have like shirts and shit. So, and then during like the big fight, the leader of the Human Revolution dies. His name's Philippe. And then the mom hijacks like a parts cleaner and rams into Snowball and like kills him. So the mom goes like full Ripley on Snowball, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much like the end of that issue. But the mom's like issued a court date because what she was doing was illegal, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, last issue. We're introduced to like some stuff outside of the bubble, which I assume sets up for like the next trade. But there's like militia and scavengers outside of the bubbles. So it's not like everybody was migrated into these bubbles.
Yeah, I thought it was like so toxic outside of the bubbles where like people would die, but it sounds like people can like survive. But
For a while, but probably not as long of a lifespan.
yeah,
You know, it'd probably be like just not as extreme, but like living near Chernobyl.
this is only like 30 years away, so maybe like cuts out like 20 years of your life.
Yeah, but also there's nobody like maintaining like the world, and like it seems like that's where a lot of trash goes and shit. So
Oh, yeah.
everything's just like a big trash world. And we see some like militia out there, some scavengers, but they all get drone striked by some mandroids
Yeah.
that don't feel a thing doing it. So that's crazy. And then the mom is tried for the killing of Snowball, and she's found guilty. So she's shot outside of the bubble.
It's like a little slide.
Yeah, like a little trash chute or something that goes outside the bubble.
Yeah.
So she like tries to claim not guilty and tries to claim for self-defense or whatever, but obviously like the system's pretty rigged, like in favor of robots. Like her legal defense was kind of just denied in like a second, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this really sick line where the robot says like, what does it say that the worst punishment we have is to simply banish you to the world that you created?
Yeah.
And I was like, Fuck, man, that goes hard.
Yeah,
that's like
this is a smartly written book.
It really is. Like that's like their death sentence is just shooting you outside of the bubble and like you can't get back in. So it's pretty fucked.
The only thing that I think would be good about having these bubbles is having one in like Phoenix or whatever, right?
There probably is one.
And you can control the weather. You know, you can make it not hot,
That's pretty cool.
which would be sick.
All right, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm down.
Worth it. Yeah.
Just like places like Arizona,
Yeah.
you know, where there really shouldn't be civilization, but there is.
I could see us being like the first bubble
Yeah,
in the U.S.
and then
There's a lot of land that's like largely unoccupied where we could put a bubble city.
yeah, maybe that's what Microsoft is building or whatever.
Oh, you're right, because they are building all that shit.
Bubble City.
Ooh, well, I'll get us first access because I work there now. We'll be the first ones in, baby. I'm back in.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I got a bubble hookup.
the Jeff Bezos in this story is just going to be Bill Gates,
Yeah.
even though he's not the CEO anymore.
What a twist.
Whoa. So the kids in the Grand Droid aren't really happy at home, and so they decide to leave the bubble to go after their mom. And then the neighbor feels bad for the dad and gives him the mandroid that looks like Cheryl,
Yeah.
which is weird.
So bizarre.
That guy,
I'm like, he's going to fucking love this shit.
that guy has cummed in that thing for sure.
And it's basically just a cum bucket that he gave you.
And then like, what's so weird, like the dad's just so okay with everything going on because it's like they're watching the news or whatever, and then the dad's like, even though your mom broke the law, I just want you to know that she still loves you. Like
Yeah.
he's not really broken up about this.
Yeah.
Just so much blind faith and everything that's
He's
been
like,
happening.
she broke the rules.
And I assume that he will unconditionally love this version of his wife, even though it's a mandroid.
So kind of just skipping to the end of a part, at least from this part.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to watch some TV or something? And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, whatever you want. You're the boss kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
And that's not always fun, you know?
Yeah, true. You can tell like the last panel we see of him,
He seems uncomfortable.
he does. He seems sad. Because
Yeah.
like the mandroid wife is like, whatever you want, you're in charge kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, this is not going to work out.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he at least sees that. Because he
Right.
seems like the kind of guy where it would go either way. But so the kids like are outside the bubble. They pick up this kid named Tot, who's
Good
like
name.
a scavenger. You know, so they pick him up along the way, and then they travel like at nights to avoid the militia. They're trying to just find the mom. They're following like one of the tubes that goes in between the cities, so they just assume that the mom was following that,
Yeah, they're going to the Orlando one, I guess.
where everybody died. Yeah,
And dude, that shit, you know how far it is from Atlanta to Orlando?
no,
438 miles.
that's pretty long.
And Google Maps says that's a 6-day walk, which seems way too short.
That does, yeah. I'd be
Like,
like, what is that, a month?
A little under a week to get there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure going through a couple states.
Damn.
But yeah, I just thought that was pretty neat.
Well, I guess that's not that long then. It would just be like a couple nights that they would be. Well, 6 days of continual walking.
I guess Georgia's right next to Florida, so
Is it like 6 days of continual walking? I assume?
Yeah,
Okay, so probably like 2 weeks.
maybe a
for them.
solid week. Yeah,
Because they sleep during the day to avoid the militias, but
it doesn't feel like 2 weeks. You know, it's like a couple pages for us.
yeah, they do eventually run into some militia people, which end up killing the Grand Droid, but they're saved by like this MacGyvered version of Snowball that Tot makes because he has his head for some reason. I didn't understand this part very much.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like, was he carrying around all the parts?
I guess he
for
just-
Snowball.
but like while they're
In his
fighting, he just like pulls out a blowtorch and just like welds some pieces together or something, and then he builds Snowball. But this version of Snowball doesn't remember anything because his memory files were wiped. So now they're like teaming up with this weird version of Snowball, like the character they were scared of from the beginning.
Okay, so the head is different color than the body. So maybe it was by that car that he's with.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay,
The
okay.
body is not Snowball, but like the head is.
Okay.
That's the idea. So it seems pretty lucky that he picked up that one, but I'm not going to question it. And then they eventually find the mom staying or about to enter, or she's staying at the bubble Orlando where like the mass murder happened. So
Yeah.
there's like a human revolution that's clearly
It says
building up there.
condemned. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like no one's in there. I assume they fixed the oxygen,
Yeah, probably.
and so then all the people that are exiled just go to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Send all the prisoners to Florida.
That's the capital punishment. But yeah, that's the end of the book. So it's pretty interesting because like the story was like the world. It wasn't like a particular like person or anything. So it was saying like a lot. There's a lot of satire here. Some that probably even went over my head, but like really, sometimes I like a story that's like pretty on the nose about what a writer in particular is like freaked out about.
Yeah.
And this one pretty much freaked me out. Yeah.
Definitely.
So let's go into some back matter matters.
Back matter matters.
This one is mainly just like Mark Russell and Mike Deodato talking about the book. And Mark Russell like came up with the idea during like the Me Too movement where, the Me Too movement happened, but he also discovered this group of people called Not All Men, which is where the name Not All Robots came up because he was saying like there's a group of not all men that were trying to fight for saying that not all men like sexually assault women, but in doing that they suppress like the voices of women that were sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is insane. And he says like a really good example where it's like if your car gets carjacked and then someone on the street is just like, well, not all people are carjackers. And we're like, yeah, obviously we just don't want the people that do carjack, So, and he writes like a whole lot about like toxic masculinity, like driving this book and, some stuff that happened during COVID and when I think so.
Yeah. The dad basically like gaslights the family the entire time.
He does.
Like, our robot is awesome, even though it could murder us.
Yeah. It could murder us.
And was planning to murder us.
Yeah. So it's about like privilege as well. He mentions and how privilege is like designed to work and people come up with groups like that and like kind of boil up to a certain point, maybe even to violence because they are scared of losing their privilege. Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting concept. I think he really nailed that on the head with this book.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Mike Deodato was like, I really want to do something different. And Mark like really nailed this script, so, and he said that drawing robots is a really tricky thing. And I'm like, it looks like it, but it looks like they're tricky to draw, but also doesn't look like they're tricky to draw because he draw them so really well. Yeah. So,
because you got to design those things, you know what I mean?
All of them were different designs too.
Yeah.
Like not one robot was like the same as the other.
Yeah, no.
Which would be like a good way to like maybe cut some corners, maybe reuse some stuff in panels. But no, he like really went all the way. So pretty sick. And then there's like some covers. There's the one that I have, which is the variant cover, which is that one painting that for some reason. What is this one called?
American Gothic?
Yeah, American Gothic, but it's robots. I think that's pretty funny.
That's cool.
And then another variant.
Robotic Gothic?
Pretty much. And then there's another one. But that's the back matter. So, yeah. Dana, what would you rate this book?
I rated, I love it, Nathan. I loved it.
I did love it too, yeah.
I do want more. I would be really excited if they were able to do like another volume. I think they can probably wrap it up in another 5,
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't know what they've clearly set. They have a plan, and they've set up something I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it definitely deserved its Eisner for best humor publication. Mm-hmm. Because it definitely satirizes a lot. Yeah. So I think, and it like wasn't like too over the top. It didn't like bore me at a certain point,
Yeah.
So
and there's some laughs in there,
So it's like good sci-fi with like good statements on like the world today. So
I think
what more could you want?
Yeah, I like sci-fi like that.
Yeah. So
do you rate it a love it as well?
Yeah, I would rate it a love it with some lug nuts in there.
With a couple screws?
Yeah, a couple screws.
Maybe like some sort of like chocolate base with like a bunch of different candy bars in there, just because there's like a lot of different elements in this and you're not sure what's actually in there.
Yeah.
Like what's like the main chocolate bar that's in there.
Well, you don't know what this ice cream is trying to say.
Yeah.
But you understand a lot of it,
And it's kind of satire on the real world.
Yeah. That's exactly right, yeah.
The chocolate has too much privilege and...
No, the vanilla is too much. It's a vanilla ice cream. Vanilla is too much privilege.
Ah, true.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, pretty great. Honestly, I think it's, worth the read. Let's go to the pull list. Colon.
Shove it in your box.
Yep.
The pull list. What did you shove in your box? So I totally left the house today went to get a haircut, and I'm like, oh, I'll go to the comic shop after my haircut, and I totally fucking forgot, and I did not want to leave the house again. You know how you just get home?
Yeah, and you're like,
So, are you going to the Mitch Garrett's signing?
Probably.
Okay. Can you get me one?
Sure.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna get that.
Yeah, that you're referring to Batman One Bad Day by Tom King and Mitch
With the Riddler on it?
with the Riddler on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Not whatever I theorized.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what they were called anymore. It was
Is
like a
it
Black Hand Club
Black Handkerchief Militia or something?
yeah, something like that. I looked into it for like 2 minutes, and then I responded to Mitch's tweet, and then he liked it, and I was like,
He's like,
crack the case.
He's like, you're fucking
You're so wrong.
psych. It's like literally so easy.
I know. But, maybe in the future. Maybe it's setting up whatever club that is. But.
So I'm not even sure if all these things actually came out, but I was gonna get World's Finest #6.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay.
or maybe I missed it.
This is what my app says. I don't know if any of it's right because it's wrong all the time.
Yeah.
So Batman the Knight #8, Daredevil 2.
It's Daredevil 2, but also Daredevil 650. But that did come out.
Okay. Do a Powerbomb #3.
Yep.
You got that?
Pick that up.
Firepower 23. You're not on that.
Uh-huh.
And then Hulk #8.
Oh, fuck. I missed that, I think.
So I'm
I did
so
see that.
confused with Hulk right now. Like, because
They had the Hulk Banner War.
is that like the second trade, you think?
Huh?
You think that'll be like the second trade when it's collected?
Maybe,
Because it was
yeah.
only like 4 or 5 issues of Hulk and then Hulk Banner stuff,
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So,
That did throw me off of...
because 8
Hulk.
looked like it was a normal issue.
Yeah. Well, no. It had like a little corner thing that mentioned Hulk Banner War, so I think it's still kind of going on.
Shit. And
Right.
I don't
did
even
miss
know
that.
if I don't have the Thor issues,
Yeah, I picked them up, but I still haven't read them yet. I read the first 2 issues, and I actually really enjoyed like what I was reading, but I just don't have the rest of the stuff. So
Yeah, I'm
a little
afraid that they won't even have like the Thor issues. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If I were to go pick it up now.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Yeah, so I picked up Batman One Bad Day, Do a Powerbomb #3, Daredevil 2. I also picked up, because I'm a sucker, Avengers 1 Million BC came out today.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, I gotta pick it up.
You have to.
There's an Iron Fist, and there's a Ghost Rider that's riding a flaming mammoth.
Yeah, dude.
What am I supposed to do?
It's so good.
And they know this.
Yeah.
But they should have capitalized on it when they first introduced it like 100 years ago, it feels like.
I think they should have had like a Silver Surfer in there. Because like, I'm just thinking of things that would be around.
Surfboards weren't around.
Surfboards run around.
Yeah.
But he doesn't call it a surfboard.
But it's a surfboard.
Right, it is a surfboard.
Yeah, he calls it like a name.
Because there's always like a herald of Galactus,
Yeah.
Oh, and you said the name. So I was looking into this when I was making like the Groot episode and editing it.
Yeah.
So he calls it To Me, right? TOMIE.
Oh, and he says to me, my board or something like
Yeah.
that. Oh shit, I didn't even notice that.
That's like something that Dan Slott just like put in there.
That's fucking funny.
Isn't that genius?
It really is. I also picked up Silver Coin 13. Really excited about that one. And then the biggest thing that came out,
What?
Shirtless Bear Fighter 2.
Oh,
#1 came
God
out
damn it.
by Jody LeHuip and some other person. I think it's a different artist,
Okay.
but same energy.
Unacceptable.
It's same energy.
Did you read it?
I read the first issue and I fucking love it. It's so stupid.
What did you see the Scotty Young cover for it?
No.
You have to buy it on his website.
I will.
Yeah.
But that
It's just like a baby shirtless bear fighter and he's fighting a bunch of gummy bears.
yeah, so he is fighting gummy bears in this issue,
Oh.
which is funny, but it's like the same ridiculousness of Shirtless Bear Fighter 1.
Nice.
We did the whole first trade. It's a magnificent book. Bear puns, they're back.
Let's go.
They one of them is paranormal for paranormal, but it's a bear.
Paranormal activities?
Yeah, and then we see Shirtless. That's the guy's name.
Of course.
As a baby, and he still has a full ass beard.
Nice.
So there's just like
Abs.
a lot of visual gags in there, and I'm like, I fucking love this book.
Can you believe that there's been like a whole revival in the span of this podcast?
I know.
Because like that was like our 5th episode or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it wasn't very deep.
It took 100 weeks,
Yeah.
even more. But yeah, so I read that, and it was magnificent.
Cool. I there's another thing that I got. I bought it a long time ago, but it just got here.
Oh shit! Did you get something graded? Whoa! I forgot about that.
So did I. Until I got
Holy
an email
shit.
that it's coming. Look, it's got little like gold pages or whatever.
Oh man,
I don't know if you can see that on there. Hold up. There. Yeah, you kind of see it.
that's
Shine.
so cool looking.
And then there's some sort of like poster thing in the back. I haven't
Yeah.
opened it, but it comes with the poster, which is neat.
That's sick.
Dude, I just read like the top, you know? It's like Jeff Lemire, Matt Kent, David Rubin. I'm like, what a superstar team.
Absolute banger.
So
You're gonna have to let me know how that goes. But that
Is
was
it-
their crowdfunded book, right?
yeah, on like Kickstarter. I can't even remember when I bought this. I feel like
You
it was
were in the
forever ago.
Tempe.
Yeah, I was in the
so
old
it was
house.
like over a year ago for sure.
Yeah. Does this seem like wider than a normal book?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is it just me? Maybe it's just like an oversized kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to show that
That's pretty cool.
because that's exciting.
Yeah. Let me know how that is.
I will.
I read a couple things.
Oh, yeah?
I read 8 Billion Genies #4.
I did too.
So good.
For some reason, like the reveal didn't like really like. I wasn't like, wow. I was just like, just reading. I think I was just trying to get through it or something.
You might have been.
I'm like, is he God?
Yeah. Which, as soon as he explained it, I was like, okay, cool.
That
You
is
know?
cool.
It is like a good concept. It's a good way to like mix up the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the bartender, I guess spoilers if you're reading this, but like the bartender is like the last genie, but
Yeah.
the last genie of the last generation of genies that happen. And I'm like, this is really interesting. So he's seen all this happen,
Yeah.
Before,
There's like phases.
which is why he knew to secure the bar. So that makes sense that he was able to jump on
so
that.
he's a genie that got a genie. But I thought,
So
he's
we-
like the last. He had the last wish.
You're right.
And they do this every time the Earth gets to like 8 billion people.
Yeah, they're like, that's too much.
I'm like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it probably should have happened. But
But
so, yeah, they're in like the superhero age. There's some interesting stuff that happens. I really like that No Bones villain.
oh my god,
That guy was so weird looking. And
dude,
he's like,
his
I'm going to
name
take your
is
bones.
his name is Deboner.
That was a good name. Good choice. I wouldn't accept anything else.
Yeah,
But he just like looks so weird. And I'm like, that's actually kind of cool.
did you
but
see
like,
that the guy from Curse Words was in it? Like the wizard,
Wizard?
Wizard. Yeah, he was in it.
Oh, no, I missed that.
It's just like a little cameo thing.
I love all the shit in the background of this book.
There's so much stuff.
It's so rewarding to just take everything in, you know, just like take a look at each individual panel and be like, who would wish to be a giant bear?
I'm like, why would anyone want a volcano to be alive?
Yeah,
you know?
I know, yeah. So, but yeah, that book is you can tell that they thought about how crazy it would be and like
Yeah.
you know a timeline of like stuff that would happen. So I'm really interested to see where it goes. I'm enjoying it so far.
The farther that it goes, I'm like, I really don't know what would be a good wish. You know what I mean?
I have no idea what I would wish for.
Because like all the wishes are starting to kind of like backfire on some of them. But I like how it was getting to the point where the kid that's made himself a superhero, like wasn't sure if he was killing people that were
Relics,
either remnants, like
yeah.
things that people made up and wished for, or if they were people themselves.
yeah, and so he's just like
Because like
killing-
he killed like Godzillas and stuff.
and he's like,
and so
did
they-
someone just wish that Godzilla was real, or did someone wish themselves to be Godzilla? And am I killing a
Yeah.
person? Yeah, that is really interesting.
So it's just this like 12-year-old that's like slaughtering people.
Yeah,
But
Insane.
yeah, good book. Was that only number 4? And we got like 4 more left.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre because it's already bizarre.
I can't wait to get to like 8 billion years.
Yeah, we're down like to 1 billion people and like
And it's-
500,000 genies.
And it's been 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next one's gonna be 8 months and then 8 years, I assume. But yeah, super fun. I also read Jurassic League #4.
I got all caught up because I
Did you?
knew you were going to read it.
It's so good, isn't it?
I love how Wonder Dawn, like the Wonder Woman
I'm familiar,
dinosaur,
yes.
she rides an invisible pterodactyl,
yeah.
which is the best fucking thing I've ever seen.
I love just turning things into dinosaurs. It is just the most childish thing, but it's also incredible.
The Green Lantern dinosaur is like the lamest dinosaur.
He kind of is.
It's
yeah.
called
The Green Torch.
Parasaurolophus.
Oh, like the dinosaur that he is.
Yes.
Is lame.
Yeah, he's fine. Like he's a Green Lantern, and
Yeah,
he does
yeah.
what, and the Green Torch is a good name. You know, 'cause
I do
the-
like that name. Even
And
though
the-
canonically it would probably still be Green Lantern, but it doesn't really matter. It's
like
dinosaurs, you know.
The dark side like dinosaur is so fucking cool.
I know. When I saw the Omega beams, I'm like, come on.
I was like, ooh,
come on. A dark dinosaur.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane. So I'm enjoying it. It's just so dumb, and I'm glad that I forget the name of the artist, Juan Gideon.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he was on it again because issue 3 I think was really busy and
It was
hard to read.
super
Like the energy
busy.
was there, but it was like
they had the even just random scribbles in there.
Yeah,
which
so
is weird.
It felt really hard to process, but I really enjoy Juan Gideon.
I definitely had to step back and be like,
yeah, so I was a little scared that he was still on this issue,
it
but
kind of looked like a bit of a mess, just looking at the whole page. But when you look at each panel, it's like
he's not a bad artist by any means.
No,
I just
very
prefer
good.
Juan Gideon. And
It is
that guy's the fucking man.
Yeah, because you're
Like
just
the
already
fact
used to it.
That I'm okay that it's not Dana Warren Johnson drawing this whole thing because this guy's so
It
fucking
kind of
good
looks
too.
like him.
It kind of does, yeah. So it's great. And I read The Punisher number 5.
Yeah.
Still going good.
Did you read Predator?
I didn't pick up Predator.
Oh, you didn't get Predator?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Is it?
I read it. I'm like, this is sick. Because I was like, all right, what could this possibly be about, right? And I read it, and I'm like, oh, it's a good concept. And I'm like, oh, I like this character. I'm like, it's a $5 book, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But
I saw
who cares about money?
I saw people post covers for older Predator series. And I don't even particularly enjoy Predator that much, but I was looking at these covers and I was like, this looks fucking good.
Yeah.
So I kind of just want to read a bunch of Predator comics just to see what I like.
Find them because they're super hard to find any on Comixology,
which is so unfortunate. But maybe I will pick up the Marvel one.
You can borrow mine if you want.
Okay.
It's cool.
And then I read Detective Comics with the new team, Ram V Albuquerque.
Right.
Did you pick that up?
No.
Really strong. I don't really know what's really happening yet, but a lot of really good visuals, and I think it's going to be Batman dealing with satanic stuff, maybe.
Ooh.
So we'll see what happens there. But Albuquerque is just such a fucking banger artist.
Killer.
That I'm like, this is just unfair. He's so consistently just jaw dropping, that guy.
Yeah.
So he just deserves to be on Batman for forever.
Yeah, definitely. I think, what did he do that we know him from?
A couple things that I can't name off the top of my head.
Was it just Batman?
No.
He was on
on
American Vampire, I think.
Yeah, that's American Vampire, yep.
But we didn't really read that.
He did some All-Star Batman, some Detective Comics.
That's right.
Some Batgirl. Huck. That's how I know him from. He's great
Really?
on Huck, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Hit Girl he was on. And then he did Prodigy with Mark Miller.
Did he do the Elmer Fudd one?
No, that's Lee Weeks.
Lee Weeks, that's right.
Yeah. But
cool.
Huck is great. He has a Batman black and white statue, which is pretty cool too.
Nice. I would get one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot of One Punch Man.
Oh, nice. I finished season 2 of that.
Really?
Week. Pretty fun.
Dude, I love that the Centachuro, that big centipede thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you beat it up and then just
molts.
And then there's another one and the face comes through the mouth.
I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it's so fucking bizarre.
Anime is just comics.
Oh, yeah. And it reads great.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I'm sure.
I was trying to find where I was at, right? With season 2. And so I was flipping through the book that I had. Those scenes in the comics fly by. It's not even, it's one chapter or whatever. And so you can read a chapter in a couple minutes and it's not a 15-minute episode. So they kind of expand it for the show, which I get. So it's just kind of more exciting for me reading it just because it moves so much faster.
Yeah. There was a fight that was between the monster
Garo,
yeah, and the heroes.
Yeah.
That lasted 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get it over with.
One chapter.
Kill the kid or not kill the kid. I don't know. So
didn't kill the kid.
And he didn't kill the kid. But it's pretty entertaining.
Did you watch the sub or the dub?
It's dub.
Okay. I haven't watched any of the dub because I always watch
it's pretty good.
The sub as much as it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. But yeah, it's a good manga. I'm trying to get caught up on that. I've read 10 chapters.
That'd be cool.
So where you ended is around 85. chapter 85, and
Wow.
there's like 185, I think, right now. So the manga's like super ahead of the show.
Yeah. You would think like the concept of it is just insane because it's like obviously there's no real stakes for Saitama, but they do a really good job of making all the other characters like Genos and stuff. Like, what is going on with Genos? Like something's gonna happen. Who's that doctor? You know?
Oh yeah.
And like King definitely has something else going on. I feel like.
Did they explain that?
Yeah, they do, but I feel like there's just something else going on. Like not even he knows. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a couple things going on there where I'm like, what is this guy about? You know?
Sometimes I'm like, because they'll spend like however much time like fighting some big thing, and then Saitama's just running late.
Yeah.
Bah, and done. I'm like, is this the whole book?
It really, yeah.
Like all the S-class heroes, like the strongest people on like Earth, fight this one thing for however long, and then One Punch Man just comes in, and this is just this like cycle. But I don't know.
Yeah, which I think is really funny because it's like I don't know. He's just so bored by everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that hasn't really gotten old for me yet. But I think the best character is Moomin Rider, for sure.
Moomin Rider, absolutely. Yeah, he rides a bike.
I hope something huge happens with him, like he saves Saitama somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fun.
One of like the dumbest like anime, one of the most anime things it happens in like that season where like Genos is like fighting Garo, and he like smashes Genos in the ground, right? And he's like on his back, and then he has like those like thrusters or whatever, and he's just like. He like blasts him and just stands straight up.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I laughed so hard when I saw that. A lot of the things that Genos does makes me laugh because it's so extra.
It's so extra.
It's so, but it's like cool, but it's like sometimes cool gets like so cool that it's like funny to me.
Yeah, like that.
Like that.
Because
yeah.
I remember seeing that, like, what is that?
Like,
how does he not fall forward, you know?
You know, how does he not take one step
It's
forward?
just the perfect amount of thrust to stand straight up.
Which isn't even a thing. He would need other thrusts on like his boobs.
Right, to stop.
Yeah, to
and
stop.
so I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I do remember that in particular.
But anyway.
I watched I Am Groot.
So did I. A little weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like 30-minute episodes.
No, I figured... someone told me that that's like Pixar shorts, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a
And then
good
you had to, like,
context to have.
Then you had to like find them. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
just like in a series, you know? They
Yeah.
all had different little titles.
My favorite one's the Civilization one.
Dude, I thought he like murdered this whole civilization by like stepping on him.
Yeah, he like murders civilization, becomes god to the civilization, and then murders them some more,
shit.
and then tries leaving them after he thought that he murdered them, only for them to be alive. And the whole thing was like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
My favorite scene though is when he like starts stacking like the two branches together, and it's like 5 minutes later, and he builds this whole tree house. It gets knocked down, and then he cries about it for like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
which I think is funny because it only took him 5 minutes to build it in general.
The only ones I liked were the ones with like he's in that like mud bath or whatever, and he grows like
Oh, I love
leaves.
that one too. Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
that was a good one.
And then the one with like Rocket.
I wasn't like sure who was gonna come in, but yeah, Rocket was cool to see.
That seemed the most like natural fit, you know?
Yeah, it would be kind of funny to see like Star-Lord be like, "What are you doing?" And
Yeah.
then, like cuts or whatever, you know.
Just for like one scene.
Drax
you
is
know?
like in the shower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
But yeah, it was like whatever.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Did you watch any more Paper Girls or?
I watched one more episode of Paper Girls, and then I watched like a couple more episodes of Sandman. So I'm up to 24/7, but I haven't watched it yet. So that's how far I went.
Okay, same, yeah.
So I saw the Devil thing, so I saw Joanna Constantine. I saw the Devil, and now he got knocked out by the Ruby, and like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That show's fucking good.
Isn't
right?
it insane?
Like, I don't like this kind of story normally, and I think having read the comic enhances my experience.
Definitely.
But I still think it's really good. Why is that guy's mouth so small?
Sandman?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of small in the comic too.
it kind of is, but like him in particular, I'm like, this guy's mouth is really small. I think it's like
He's always brooding all the time.
He is, and maybe his jaw is just way too big, unproportionally.
Yeah.
But no, it's great. Like, I like the changes that they make. I still hate that weird devil game.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's just so good. And then like the stuff where they replaced Dr. Destiny with what's her face's kid, I thought that was all really good.
Yeah, it was crazy because like she was in it like but we didn't know that there's any connection to Burgess, in the comic at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then they made it that way, and which makes it like a lot of sense. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe they come back to that and add that, like in the comic, but I thought that was a really cool addition.
I thought that he is an interesting character, the one that's going after the ruby. I forget his name even.
The Corinthian? Or John D?
John D, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like that he ended up sparing like the girl that drove him, and then even gives her like the amulet of protection.
Yeah, that amulet thing was like just like a random addition. I'm like, so
I think it was really cool.
He leaves this one thing to get this other one thing that
But-
also makes him super powerful,
Yeah, but the fact that like woman didn't drive away, and he's like, you are genuinely nice. You were probably just scared, and what you're doing, you try to call the cops on me. So like, here's this as like a reward. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy's like not all bad,
Yeah.
but he's pretty fucked still. But it's like not all bad, He has like some morals in his head, which I appreciate seeing.
I liked seeing him use the amulet thing on like the guards and shit, and they're just like blown away.
Blow away, yeah.
I was like, oh god,
I was like, this is sick.
this looks really good.
Yeah, it does look really good. And
This murder looks great.
yeah. And like the scene in the gas station, and like the guy's talking to the cops so loud.
Oh yeah.
He very clearly understood that this girl was taken hostage in some form, and he's like, yeah, hello police, there's like this weird guy and he's like talking so loud. I'm like, come on, dude.
I didn't really think about it much. Like he didn't have time.
I like Joanna Constantine though a lot.
Yeah,
She
she's
was
cool.
super cool. And then the stuff that they did with Rachel was also very well done, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So good, just
Yeah,
good
definitely.
shit. So did you watch any more of that
The show?
show? Yeah.
No, we're in like the same spot.
Okay.
I like downloaded them so I can watch it on a plane.
Oh, nice.
But
And then I watched one more episode of Paper Girls. I'm not as excited about that show as I am about Sandman,
sure,
which is weird. Didn't think that
Yeah.
would end up that way.
like the opposite as far as the comic,
Yeah.
But the middle of the season that you're like watching, it's like less and less about like the war they're in or whatnot. It's just like them and like the relationships with like each other and stuff like that. And that's like done really well. And that's the part that I like the most,
Yeah. I'm interested to see where it goes, because it's obviously way past where we were at.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I like some of like the dialogue, and then some of it like kind of irks me.
Yeah, there's some like kind of cringy dialogue, but
that's just, like,
that
kid
can
acting.
happen with kid acting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either, I don't even know if it's like kid acting or if it's dialogue or if it's both or whatever, but I am enjoying it, so I'll get to it, but I'll probably finish like Umbrella Academy first and Sandman first.
True. Real quick, there's this like TikTok account. It's called Space Monkey Comics or something, and it's this like comic shop in Tucson.
Oh, and they're building a comic shop?
Yeah, have you
Yeah,
seen it?
I've been following every single day.
Yeah, I watch every day and I like all of it. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's like this comic shop in Tucson that's just the process of building it from fucking scratch. And
I'm
it's
like, they're putting so much work into
They have
this.
sticky notes on the wall.
They got to scrape off the glue that's on the ground from the old flooring.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they gonna put down?
They're really doing this shit, and I'm like enjoying seeing the process of building a comic shop, because I had no idea how much work it was.
Yeah, because I'm like, I guess I'm never opening up a comic shop because
Yeah, I
this
know.
takes like a month.
This crushes my dream of ever doing that.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
I thought
really cool.
I was like, I want to go there and be like, I saw your TikToks.
That's probably all they're gonna get. you
Yeah.
know?
So,
And then I watched Prey. Dude.
could be Best Predator. I don't know.
Ah,
It's real tied for Best Predator.
we'll just call it Prey because it is Prey.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not called Predator,
That's true.
and so we'll keep calling Predator Best Predator.
Okay, good.
And this is the best Prey for sure.
Incredible though, right?
So good, dude. Why didn't this not get a theatrical release? Like it could have.
I
been
think it
good.
was supposed to, and then I think it just ended
Maybe-
up getting bought by Hulu or something. I think there's
Well, Disney owns the rights, right? And then Disney owns Hulu, I think.
yeah, I think there's something in there that happened,
So-
but it was pretty damn incredible.
I loved it.
I liked the design of like this Predator, because it's clearly like older, and like that mask is fucking weird.
Yeah, the mask was really cool. I'm like, this is some weird thing. I know it's like not. I don't think it really has any kind of utility to it, or I guess
I mean,
does.
it does has the laser
But it
thing.
just kind of looked like some skull that he found or something.
Yeah,
And then like the Predator face was different too, which was shocking to me.
yeah.
But it worked. I think it is like they called it like a different type of Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see those TikToks of like the guy who played Predator?
Yeah.
And like he called it something else, but Yeah, it's just the guy who's
He's like a basketball player, and he's like 6 something, right?
Yeah, he's like huge.
Yeah,
I think that's awesome.
It looks great. Like the practical effects, which I didn't even know were a thing for like the Predator at least, were really good. I figured it would just been like a tall man in green morph suit.
Right.
But yeah, really cool.
That's probably what the other one was in Best Predator.
What's cool is that they also dubbed the film in Comanche,
Right?
like the native like language. So that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing about this movie is that the dog doesn't die. So I'm really happy about
Dude,
that.
I was like,
I'm like, am I gonna have to hate this movie?
I'm like, watch them ruin this movie real quick.
I know. I'm like,
Even
I might
Sarah
hate this movie.
was like, no, not the dog. I'm like, I know, it's such a good boy.
Yeah, the dog just fucking comes in randomly though.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm like, where's it been like the last hour? or
yeah,
whatever?
but I just the idea of just having like a predator in like the
At any point in time.
environment of just like in like the time of like hunters and gatherers, right?
Yeah.
And she's like supposed to be a gatherer, but she has to like turn into a hunter, and she's like striving to be a hunter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just such a fucking golden idea, right?
So good.
And I saw a tweet where I was like, I just want Predator in like Japan. I want Predator in like all these different environments. I'm like, I do too. That'd be sick.
The Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Like,
And I like just all the traps that she sets up, and you know, it stays faithful to like Predator only hunt people that, you know, seem dangerous. So when she gets
Yeah.
caught by the bear trap,
Other
like
predators
things
and
change.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of really cool imagery too, like that bear.
yeah.
The
that
bear
was
when he lifts up
insane.
the bear and like the blood falls on him. I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
He wants all the smoke.
Yeah. And then like when they're running away in that field and the predator is invisible but chasing after them, so you just see.
Oh, so
I
scary.
was like, oh my god, he's
I was
so
like,
fast.
it's so fast. It's getting on you.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it. And like the stuff with like the French people, oh, so good.
Sarah took French in high school because she grew up in like Indiana, so not a lot of Spanish out there.
Sure.
And so she's like, that means shit. I'm like,
Great.
because they didn't have like subtitles for the French, you know, because it doesn't matter what they're saying, you know.
Yeah.
So she's like translating some of that stuff, which is
Yeah.
kind of funny.
I also like that the fact that she was a gatherer and could like make medicine and stuff.
Yeah,
benefited her?
That shit that like made her body cold.
As soon as I heard her say that, I'm like, oh, it's gonna come into play later.
I didn't
obviously.
even fucking think about it.
Oh, really?
And then she did it, and like she was invisible. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it was cool seeing her like learn about this.
Yeah.
like, this predator. So she's like very attentive, and then eventually she does the trick where she's originally gonna try on like the lion to the predator, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I didn't expect this whole thing to come back, but
yeah.
super cool.
I like how quicksand was in it. I'm like, there's just not quicksand in a lot of movies. It feels like
Like the mud.
yeah,
I don't think it's technically quicksand, but it's like,
it's totally quicksand. What do you mean?
I mean, it wasn't like sand.
It's just mud.
It's just like deep mud.
I don't think quicksand is like sand, mud, and like water, like all mixed together. So there's sand in there.
No, okay. I just think when I think of quicksand, I think of like Looney Tunes fucking like walking into some sand and then they start just slowly sinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked that was a part of it. Just like everything was like amazing. I was like, this is a great film.
Yeah,
So-
it was really like brief. There's no like filler in it, you know?
Yeah.
Everything in there was like important.
And I think the fact that it was a simple concept gave them room to just do like simple, like visually like cool scenes that like don't ultimately matter. Like this predator is just trying to see what's on this planet. So he's like killing snakes and stuff. And like that scene was really cool, I feel like, and
Yeah.
killing all sorts of other things. So I just liked all the little moments in this too that weren't necessarily like plot moments, but
I liked the shield that he had, and he like used it
Yeah.
to decapitate that dude.
that was
I'm
cool.
like, oh, that shit's cool. And
I'm
it
like-
also like cut down the tree that was like behind him.
Yeah.
I was like, nice. Good shield.
What's the Captain America shield made out of?
Vibranium.
Vibranium. I was like, Wakanda? Yeah, that was cool though.
There was a callback to the original Predator where like the brother is like, if it bleeds, we can kill it. I know you haven't seen the original Predator, but when I heard that, I'm like,
I have.
ah.
I just don't care for it.
Really? I think it's awesome.
I think it's cool, but
It's just like spraying bullets for like 2 hours.
and I've seen like AVP and stuff,
yeah,
which I think is pretty good.
yeah, I like it. It was dumb.
It's
and,
good, like mindless entertainment, I think.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know. I really enjoyed this one, so I'm glad it was.
So good stuff.
And so yeah, people are saying like, I think her name's Amber Midthunder. Get her to be X-23, and I 100%.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Don't even give us like a normal Wolverine. Just give us X-23.
Yeah, don't wait for that girl to grow up or anything.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
her.
Cast her now.
But yeah, that's. Did you watch anything else or?
Two things. I watched 2 streams of people that are comic book people.
Nice.
I watched a Jim Lee stream.
Ooh.
Because I followed him a long time ago, and then I got a notification that he was live, and he was doing a sketch for something that he was going to sell on his Discord or something. Mm-hmm. And he was just talking about his life and just answer. He's a really funny Twitch streamer because he's kind of an old guy, not used to streaming, whatever. How many kids do you think Jim Lee has?
2 or 3.
He has 9 kids.
Jesus Christ. When you ask me that, I'm watch him have 7 now.
9 kids. And I'm good Lord. He's got 4 dogs or something too. And I'm what the fuck, dude? He definitely neglects 6 of them.
I'm that's probably why he's working so much.
I know,
he's always doing covers.
He has to, yeah.
He hops on Interiors every now and then.
But he was reading questions, and he would just read something and be he would read it out loud and be I don't know what that means. And he would keep going. It was really funny. And then I also watched Daniel Warren Johnson stream.
Oh, cool.
He was filming himself with another artist who was also drawing. Mm-hmm. He was drawing himself a commission, but he was talking about one of the last Comic Cons that he went to. Just happened, I can't remember which one.
San Diego?
No, not maybe it was San Diego.
C2E2?
I think it was that one. And he was just talking about all the stuff that he got and some of the stuff that people gave him. And I'm it's just very wholesome. He's so nice.
Yeah.
He's the most metal artist, I feel but he's the nicest guy. And he was showing a bunch of fan art of Murder Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
And he got some Murder Falcon stuff from other big artists, Matthias Bergera, the guy that did Step by Bloody Step.
Yeah.
Drew a Murder Falcon. Looks really cool.
All the commissions that he did that he's been posting are insane. I'm I want that.
I saw him draw. He posted a Mothra one.
Oh, cool.
I saw that in its pencil stage, and I was watching him just ink it and stuff. The guy works so fast. It's unbelievable.
That's what I heard from Ryan Stegman's podcast.
Yeah.
He knocks out a couple pages a day.
Which is insane.
In the middle of the day, you want to see this page I just finished or whatever?
Yeah. So that was cool. And so I followed him. He apparently does that every Friday or Thursday or something. So
that's neat.
But pretty cool.
What are you going to read next week, Nathan? What are we going to read next week?
We're going to read Constantine? Is that what it's called?
John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dangerous Habits.
So is that the Vertigo one?
That's the Vertigo one.
Okay. And we're reading the one that Garth does.
Yes.
People like Garth.
Yeah, it's the definitive run on Hellblazer.
Yeah, which starts in volume 5.
Yeah, it's issue 41 or something.
And people are jump on now.
Yeah, so we're not starting at volume 1, we're starting at volume 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's the middle of volume 5.
I'm excited. I'm kind of in a Constantine mood after seeing Sandman. So I'm
I was is it too soon to do Constantine? I'm nah, we only got one issue, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was nice, Constantine.
Also, Constantine's going to be in the Harley Quinn show, played by Matt Ryan, the guy that played him in the live action thing.
Is his name Matt Ryan?
I think it is.
I'm thinking of Matt Smith.
I think you are.
That's someone else.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. But
that's the only thing he should ever do ever.
Yeah, he was born for this.
Or he's the only one who should play Constantine.
Yeah,
but he should definitely have other rules that make him money. But
no, just Constantine.
Nice.
Just ride that train.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna read next week. We want to do a DC book, but one a little bit out of left field.
Yeah.
I guess it's one that always people will oftentimes recommend.
This is definitely an itch I wanted to scratch, but it always was in the deluxe form.
Yeah.
And in with the Jamie Delano stuff.
Yeah.
So it always seemed too much. But if we're just doing the Garth stuff, then we should be good.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll do that next week.
Alrighty.
Thanks everyone for listening. You can look in the description of this episode and find our Linktree, which links to Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I think that's it. And then if you want to recommend, TikTok. If you want to recommend some things, you can email us at tradewaiterspod@gmail.com, and we'll read them eventually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, get out of here.
All right, you get out of here.